Beloved, hear me clearly. This is not an ordinary moment, and you are not standing in an ordinary season. You are standing in the threshold of divine recovery. You are crossing into a prophetic window where heaven is speaking directly to the situation that tried to break you. This is the hour where everything stolen, delayed, withheld, blocked, or buried is about to be released back into your life with interest. You are stepping into a supernatural turnaround ordained before the foundations of the world. Something is shifting, something is unlocking, something is returning, and it has your name on it. This is a divine moment where the atmosphere around you is shifting, and nothing about this season resembles the seasons you've walked through before. You are standing in a space where heaven is leaning in, where the unseen realm is responding to your faith, where every whispered prayer and every unspoken cry has been heard. You are not merely entering another day or another week. You are stepping into a prophetic window designed specifically for your restoration. This window carries weight, authority, and power that transcends human logic. It is a moment where destiny is accelerating, where alignment is taking place behind the scenes, where what was once blocked is now breaking open. This window of recovery has been ordained long before the battles you faced ever showed up. Nothing caught heaven off guard. Not the setback, not the loss, not the betrayal, not the delay. And because nothing caught heaven by surprise, everything that was taken from you has been tracked, measured, and marked for divine release. You are stepping into a time where what slipped through your fingers is returning with a force that cannot be stopped. This is a moment where the heavens are echoing with the sound of restoration, and your spirit is being called to rise to meet it. You may have walked through seasons where it felt like life was pulling away more than it was giving. You may have endured moments where hope seemed thin and strength was stretched beyond what you thought possible. But this prophetic window resets the narrative. It brings a fresh wind into places that felt suffocated. It breathes life into dreams that felt buried. It reawakens the promise that was overshadowed by disappointment. You are being lifted into a realm where the impossible becomes normal and the supernatural becomes your new expectation. This is not simply recovery. It is recovery with acceleration. Heaven is not returning what was stolen slowly. It is returning it swiftly, suddenly, and unmistakably. Delays that once seemed endless are collapsing. Barriers that once seemed immovable are weakening. Locks that once shut you out are snapping open. This window is an opportunity for you to witness the hand of God restore what was lost in ways that defy natural timelines and limitations. It is a reminder that no matter how long it seemed withheld, it was never denied. Every frustration you endured, every delay that tested your patience, every moment that made you question your progress has brought you to a deeper understanding of who you are. You have been refined, strengthened, and positioned in ways you wouldn't have chosen, but are now essential for what is being returned to you. The recovery you are stepping into requires the strength and wisdom you gained in the storm. The window has opened at the precise moment you became ready for what is coming back to you. This season is marked by divine orchestration. Things are aligning in the spiritual realm that you haven't even seen manifest yet. People, opportunities, resources, and open doors are shifting into place on your behalf. Conversations are happening that include your name. Decisions are being made that will elevate you. Paths are clearing that once felt cluttered with obstacles. This is the kind of window where everything begins to make sense, not because you can see all the steps, but because you can feel the acceleration in your spirit. You are being invited to lift your expectation higher than it has ever been before. This is not the time for small thinking or hesitant believing. This is the time to stretch your faith and prepare your spirit for restoration. What is returning to you is not returning in fragments. It is returning in fullness. You are stepping into a window where nothing is stolen, nothing is withheld, and nothing is delayed. You are stepping into a moment where the heavens are opening wide on your behalf. The prophetic window you are entering is not passive. It requires your alignment. It requires that you stay open, alert, and receptive to the moves being made around you. It requires that you silence the voices of doubt, fear, and discouragement that try to keep you anchored to past seasons. This window is activated by your belief that what is being restored is not only possible, but already unfolding. Your anticipation creates space for manifestation. This moment is also a call for you to shift your posture, stand taller, expect more. Walk with assurance. Carry yourself like someone who knows restoration is echoing through the corridors of heaven and heading straight toward them. Let your actions reflect your expectation. Let your mindset reflect your readiness. Let your words match the restoration that is being released over your life. You are not waiting for a possibility. You are welcoming a promise. And as you step deeper into this prophetic window, recognize that the recovery coming to you is not coming in the same measure it left. It is coming multiplied, strengthened, purified, and aligned with your highest calling. And it is arriving with the full force of divine timing and supernatural acceleration. The resistance you felt in your life was never a sign that you were headed in the wrong direction. It was confirmation that you were carrying something powerful, something valuable, something that threatened the forces working against you. Every time you faced opposition, every time the path seemed blocked, every time you encountered delays that made no sense, it was because the weight of your destiny was drawing pressure. The battles were never random. They were strategic attempts to weaken your confidence and dilute your purpose. Yet here you stand, still moving, still believing, still pressing forward, because what is inside you is too significant to be destroyed by the resistance around you. There were moments when the pressure felt personal, moments when the weight felt unfair, moments when you questioned why things seemed harder for you than for others. But that was not punishment. It was evidence of the magnitude of what you carry. The greater the calling, the greater the resistance. The deeper the assignment, the more intense the pressure, the more impactful your future, the more the enemy tries to undermine your present. If your destiny were small, your warfare would be minimal. But because you are destined to influence, shift, elevate, and transform, the resistance rose to meet the level of your potential. There were seasons where the struggle made you wonder if something was wrong with you. But the truth is that something was right. Your presence disrupts darkness. Your purpose threatens patterns. Your calling challenges cycles. The very atmosphere shifts when you walk into alignment, and the enemy saw that long before you did. That is why certain attacks came early in life, why certain losses hit unexpectedly, why certain betrayals blindsided you. The strategy was always to distract you from realizing how powerful you are and how much influence your destiny holds. Every obstacle you encountered was a reaction to the light you carry. You carry an anointing that attracts pressure. You carry authority that intimidates opposition. You carry purpose that makes darkness uncomfortable. That is why you've been targeted. Not because you are weak, but because you are strong. Not because you are insignificant, but because your life holds significance. Not because you are forgotten, but because you are marked. You have been a threat since the moment you were formed, and the resistance has been trying to silence your potential before it fully emerges. The battles you fought tried to convince you that you were unqualified, but the reality is that you are overqualified. Your challenges were meant to disguise your strength, but they ended up revealing it. Every attack that should have taken you out only sharpened you. Every disappointment that tried to break you only built you. Every season of waiting that tried to frustrate you only strengthened your endurance. You are not who you were when the battles began. You are wiser, more focused, and more resilient because of what you endured. There were times when the resistance felt like a wall, but that wall was actually a mirror reflecting your inner potential. It forced you to dig deeper. It made you search beyond surface level belief. It pushed you into prayer, into reflection, into discipline, into self-discovery. Without that resistance, you wouldn't have uncovered the strength that now defines you. Without that pressure, you wouldn't have realized how deeply your purpose is rooted. The opposition helped cultivate the warrior within you, even when it felt like it was trying to destroy you. Every tear shed in silence, every sacrifice made without recognition, every internal battle you never voiced was preparing you for what is ahead. You are not fragile. You are fortified. You are not uncertain. You are aligned. The struggles you faced didn't diminish your calling. They confirmed it. Your destiny was never ordinary, and that is why your journey was never easy. But now you can stand with clarity, understanding that the weight of your warfare was equal to the weight of your purpose. You didn't simply survive resistance, you outgrew it. What once intimidated you no longer has the power to paralyze you. What once discouraged you now fuels you. What once confused you now strengthens your resolve. The resistance refined you. It taught you who you are. It taught you what you carry. It taught you what you refuse to lose again. You are no longer someone who questions your worth. You are someone who knows your value and walks in it. And now as you step forward, every force that resisted you becomes a reminder of how far you've come and how unstoppable you have become. You have endured storms that would have broken others, yet you rose. You have faced challenges meant to silence you, yet you speak. You have walked through fires meant to consume you, yet you shine. The resistance was never sent to destroy you. It was sent to reveal the force within you that cannot be defeated. This is why the resistance was intense, because your destiny is extraordinary, your assignment is significant, and your presence is impactful. And every battle you overcame is proof of the greatness you were always meant to walk in. Everything that was taken from you has been accounted for in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Nothing that slipped from your hands, nothing that was snatched from your life, nothing that was stolen in the quiet moments of vulnerability has gone unnoticed. The losses you endured were not overlooked, and the pain attached to them was not ignored. Restoration has been set in motion long before you even realized something was missing. In the unseen realm, there has already been a declaration that what left your life will not remain gone, and what was taken will not stay in the hands of those who mishandled it. There is a spiritual order being enforced over your situation, and it carries more authority than any loss you have experienced. This is a season where the unseen transactions of heaven are working in your favor, where what was withheld is being released and what was hidden is being revealed. You are stepping into a divine unfolding where things begin to return, not because of chance, but because of a heavenly decree. What once seemed permanently lost is now being summoned back to you. The spiritual world is moving, aligning, rearranging, and orchestrating situations that will restore what was taken in a way that leaves no doubt about the source of your breakthrough. You are entering a time where restoration is not merely a possibility, it is an inevitability. Restoration is moving toward you with intention, carrying everything that belongs to you wrapped in purpose. What left your life incomplete is coming back to you whole. What left you wounded is returning healed. What left you disappointed is returning refined. The things you cried over, the opportunities that slipped through your fingers, the moments you wished you could reclaim, they are all being recalibrated and reintroduced into your life at a higher level. Nothing is returning to you in the same form it left. It is coming back better, stronger, and more aligned with who you have become in the process of endurance. Every stolen moment, every broken promise, every sabotaged opportunity has a spiritual marker attached to it, and that marker is calling it back into your life. Your destiny carries a gravitational pull that attracts restoration. What is yours by divine right cannot remain confiscated by what tried to destroy you. There is a command from the heavens requiring anything taken unlawfully to be released. This is not a negotiation. It is a decree. It is a mandate. It is a spiritual order that overrides every attempt to deprive you of what was meant to elevate you. This restoration is not only material, it is emotional, spiritual, relational, and mental. It touches the deepest parts of your identity. It reaches into the places where you felt empty and breathes life into them again. It restores the confidence you lost during seasons of struggle. It restores the joy you lost during seasons of sorrow. It restores the fire you lost during seasons of disappointment. The restoration coming to you is holistic, touching every area that was affected, bringing healing where you were broken and strength where you were weakened. The process may not look familiar, and the return may not follow the paths you expected, but that does not diminish its certainty. Restoration often comes in unexpected forms, through unexpected channels, and at unexpected times, but it never fails to arrive. You may not recognize the pathway, but you will recognize the promise. You may not understand the timing, but you will feel the alignment. You may not see the full picture yet, but you will witness the pieces fall into place in ways that confirm that the losses you endured were never the final chapter of your story. Every disappointment that made you question your worth is being reversed. Every setback that shook your belief is being rewritten. Everything that seemed to diminish your identity is now serving as the backdrop for a greater comeback. The restoration unfolding in your life is not meant to simply replace what was lost. It is meant to elevate your identity and remind you of your divine value. What is coming back is not just a return. It is a revelation of who you truly are and how deeply heaven has invested in your destiny. This level of restoration requires readiness because what is coming back to you will require a stronger, wiser version of yourself. The person you are now is not the same as the one who experienced the loss. You have grown, you have matured, you have developed endurance, resilience, and discernment. The restoration arriving in your life matches the person you have become, not the person you were when it was taken. Restoration happens not only when the timing is right, but when you are right for what is returning. The divine mandate over your life ensures that the restoration heading toward you cannot be intercepted, delayed, or stolen again. This time, what returns will be protected. This time, what returns will be sustained. This time, what returns will be handled with wisdom and guarded by spiritual authority. You are receiving restoration that is deeply rooted, firmly anchored, and positioned to remain because it comes wrapped in divine intention, not human interference. And as you prepare to walk into this restoration, you will begin to sense the shift, the internal confirmation that what once left your life is finding its way back, strengthened and renewed, carrying purpose, alignment, and elevation that reflects the fulfillment of a heavenly mandate over your journey. Every spiritual embargo that once stood like a wall in front of your progress is losing its authority. Forces that once had the power to delay you now have no voice. The invisible resistance that kept you circling the same challenges is being stripped of its influence. What once held you back simply cannot hold you anymore. The atmosphere around your life is shifting, and the barriers that felt impossible to break are beginning to crumble. You are in a moment where everything that opposed your movement is weakening under the weight of divine intervention, and nothing can remain as it was. Those invisible chains that wrap themselves around your momentum, chains of fear, insecurity, confusion, doubt, and discouragement are breaking link by link. You are stepping into a freedom that is not conditional, not partial, not temporary, but whole and undeniable. What once made you hesitate is losing its voice. What once intimidated you is losing its power. What once drained your strength is losing its access. You are shedding limitations that were never meant to stay with you. You are stepping into a new capacity to move, to pursue, to rise, and to reclaim everything that belongs to you. This is a season where spiritual cycles that have repeated for years are coming to an abrupt stop. Cycles of lack, cycles of delay, cycles of emotional turmoil, cycles of starting and never finishing, cycles of breakthrough followed by setbacks. These cycles are collapsing. The spiritual currents that once pulled you backwards are reversing direction. What once felt like pushing against the wind will now feel like the wind pushing you forward. You are not fighting the same resistance anymore because heaven has shifted the balance in your favor. You are leaving behind the days where you had to work twice as hard for half the results. You are leaving behind the constant frustration of seeing the finish line but never reaching it. You are leaving behind the sense of being stuck, overlooked, or held back by forces you couldn't explain. This is a spiritual unlocking. Doors that resisted you are opening. Opportunities that ignored you are turning toward you, and paths you couldn't access before are clearing. You are no longer navigating obstacles that were designed to distract and exhaust you. This breakthrough is not just external, it is internal. The heaviness that once sat on your chest is lifting. The fog that clouded your